Wow, Luna, you really do need a new collar. This thing is getting real raggedy. If your Jack Russell is going anywhere outside, anywhere with grass, anywhere around trees, bushes, you name it, flea and ticks are a concern. Especially with this dog breed, with what they like to do with their spare time outside, chasing animals and just being a Jack Russell in general. While flea and ticks aren't the biggest issue you'll ever deal with a Jack Russell Terrier, they can definitely cause a headache. And it's a super frequently asked question that I get all the time in the comments. So that is what today's video is all about. Let's start diving into the specifics right now. All right, guys, welcome back to the Terrier Owner YouTube channel. We got Luna out today, and like I said, the topic is flea and... Can I talk for 1 second without a kiss? The topic today is flea and ticks. And flea and ticks can be kind of a confusing topic for a lot of new dog owners. Sometimes it feels like it's an issue you never actually deal with, and it's just 900 products being pushed on you at the front aisle of every pet store. You have no idea which product is even desirable or which one is going to work the best, or if you even need it. We don't even know if these products are sitting there just to catch consumers like us at the pet store having a moment of weakness, wanting to try something or spend some of our money. So we're going to detail all of that. We're going to go over, what I'd recommend, or even what I would do with Luna here, and give you the breakdown on flea and ticks. And listen, I get it. It does feel like when you go to the pet store, they put those products everywhere for dogs that it feels like they're acting like fleas and ticks just literally fall out of the sky, which ticks in theory do fall out of trees, but you know what I mean. So we need to cover, what you need to be doing, if anything, preventative measures, or what to do when flea and ticks actually kick in and it is a problem, or you've already seen a vet. And what I can tell you guys is that I'm not affiliated with any flea and tick product. I'm not a huge consumer for flea and tick products. I don't, buy it on a regular basis. So my recommendations in this video are going to be purely recommendations and the best advice I can give you. I'm not, advocating for one brand or another. What are you doing? Just relaxing? Oh, at least your breath smells better. All right, guys, so here is the deal with flea and ticks. Super alarming when you first get your dog? Not really. Significant issues if left untreated, or they do happen? Yeah, it can. So it is important to understand. It is important to know that you do need to do something in some situations, or just to know the basics in general. One of the largest concerns, obviously, guys, is Lyme disease from ticks, or just the concern of fleas or ticks causing any kind of infections, or just getting into your dog's blood. Even if it's a minor issue, and I'm not saying that it is with our dogs, we clearly want to take care of it. So take it seriously, but also don't worry about it is the best advice I can give you. If you're dealing with it right now, you probably know how big of a pain it is already. So I'm not trying to undercut the severity that it can cause or the severity it can be. I'm just saying that you should be educated on it, know how to fix it, but also not overly stress about it. At the end of the day, you have a dog, especially like a Jack Russell Terrier. They're going to go outside. They're going to get into some dirty situations, and it's just part of owning a dog in general. And that's why I'm saying don't stress it too much. But I also do understand that ticks freak me out personally. I think that they're even more disgusting than fleas. I don't like the, the jumping memes of fleas, or, just the overall anatomy of them. But ticks, the burrowing into the skin kind of gives me the EBGBs with them. On a dog standpoint, or even on a human standpoint, I just think they're disgusting little critters in general. But you also have to realize that if you have other dogs in the household, or even carpet in your house, you don't want that stuff coming in. You don't want fleas or ticks on one animal to spread to, let's say, a cat or your other dog. Like in my situation, I have Graham. So you have two dogs that you kind of got to look over this situation for, so that they don't give it to each other. And I really don't want fleas in my house in general either, because that makes me itch just thinking about it. Do you have fleas right now? I don't think you do. You look pretty clean. I don't see anything jumping on you. Yeah? No kiss. She's not in a good mood, apparently. All right, guys, so what is my biggest recommendation on this topic? Well, it's pretty simple. When it comes to flea and ticks, I would take the recommendations from your vet. At the end of the day, they're the ones with a degree, and they're the ones qualified, and they also have the tools to physically check for either of these little parasites being on your dog. That is what I would do, because I'm not an expert in finding them or treating them, nor know really the best products. I do know which products I would use if you want to avoid a vet, which I'll cover here shortly, but in general, general, start with a vet's recommendation. I know it's a little more money out of pocket, but if your dog's going crazy, using their paws to itch their skin, if they're biting at themselves, you know, if they just seem irritated, fleas are a real potential. And unless you're an expert on it, you probably don't even know what you're looking for necessarily. So I would start with a vet, and definitely always start with your vet before starting any treatment. The products that are out these days, guys, there's so many of them. You don't know what they're formulated with. You don't know how good of a formula it even is, if it's going to be good for your Jack Russell's skin, their fur, or if it causes any side effects. So that's when a vet steps in. They have credibility on the line. If they're going to recommend a treatment, or if they're going to perform the treatment themselves, at least you have somebody you can call and complain to if the treatment doesn't work, or if it does cause some adverse side effects. If you just go out to the store all willy-nilly and start buying stuff and dumping it on your dog, that's kind of on you if there's an issue. I know it seems like it would be on the company themselves, but again, there's just so many products out there that there's only really a few long-standing trusted brands that I would even consider if you want to avoid the vet. And again, I'm going to touch on that here shortly. I also want to point out that you need to realize that some dogs, especially like the Jack Russell, I'll have a tab go across the top of the screen right now about bathing a Jack Russell, but in those videos when I talk about bathing this dog, I always reference how you don't want to overdo it. And that's because these dogs are pretty sensitive when it comes to their skin or their undercoat. They can be irritated or dry out easily. When it comes to those flea and tick products, you already know you have kind of a sensitive skinned dog in that manner, especially with a smooth coat. Like their skin is right there after you get through all the pounds of shedding. That's another reason though that you want to avoid just, you know, going out on a whim and trying a new company or brand. You don't really know how much it's going to irritate your dog. I also realize that a lot of you probably are still wondering, from Josh and Luna here, what to do if you want to skip the vet. Some people just don't go to the vet as much as others, and that choice is completely yours. I'm not saying one way is wrong or one way is right, but here's what I would do if you are going to completely neglect the advice on going to the vet. First, I would definitely start with two of the major brands that have been around forever and have more reviews than any of the other companies, and they're just usually recommended by vets more often. And those two brands are Frontline Plus, I believe it is. That's a flea and tick prevention or treatment, and Advantage. They've been around forever. They run commercials on everything. I mean, some of the ads on Hulu now have, you know, these being advertised, but those are the two brands I would stick with. Most Petco's, Chewy's, Amazon, you can get them. Way more trustworthy, in my opinion, to stick to a brand like that than to choose some off-name brand just because it's a few dollars cheaper. And you need to stop eating stuff off my counter. But in general, guys, those two products, they're going to be easier to use, they're trusted, and they're known to work. Additionally, you know, those products don't just offer flea and tick prevention. They're really a brand built for, you know, dogs and taking care of parasites like this. Like Frontline and Advantage also make the heartworm medications. Most vets, you probably have both of those brands in clinic. Like those are brands that they use. So that's another reason why I trust those brands over other ones. I'll put some links in the description below referencing those two so you guys can check them out for yourselves. But those are definitely the ones I would stick with. Another thing that's nice about these brands, guys, that I know from experience is these are going to come with, you know, measured vials or quantities to use the treatment with, so you don't overdo it. These are not medications that you want to accidentally provide way too much of. You need to be careful with it. So these are more instruction based and have the tools needed to actually provide some treatment if that's the route you want to take for flea and ticks. You'd prefer I use the vet, huh? You don't trust me doing nothing like that. I'm not smart enough, am I? Guys, made a video right now. Luna and I would love it if you'd boop that thumbs up button for us. It goes a really long way towards helping us get seen by others with Jack Russell Terriers. This channel is specifically designed to help all of you who own this dog breed learn how to care for them, have some fun, and just see Luna and I living our everyday life. So smash that thumbs up for us. It means a lot, helps us a ton. Subscribe if you haven't. And now let's continue with some more recommendations when it comes to flea and ticks. Which up next, guys, I want to talk about these natural solutions that you can do. Again, this isn't something I've ever done, so I want to make that 100% transparent, but I have done a ton of research on it, and I've actually been told by a vet that these are viable options if you want to go that route. Could save money. You might believe in the natural options more than these companies like Advantage or Frontline, so let's dive into that for 1 second here. So typically, guys, these natural remedies are going to use other ingredients. You know, there's a ton of different, you know, recipes, if you will, for flea and ticks that people will post that they claim will work. You know, some use cinnamon, some use lemon juice, some use sesame or even castor. It really depends, but what I would do if you're going to do this is I would pick, you know, a recipe that makes sense to you, that seems logical, and then still at least make a phone call to your vet if you want to try one of these. Again, this is your dog, right? Take the time to make a phone call or do a little bit of additional research before throwing together, you know, some kind of concoction in a bucket in your kitchen and just tossing it on your dog because you've noticed them scratching themselves. Another thing to keep in mind about these guys is if you want to do it yourself, you got to realize that sometimes you're paying for convenience, you know, for the products that are known to work or by going to your vet. These are not nearly as proven, even though they're natural and even though they're all over the internet. And they're more time consuming. You know, everybody has busy lives right now. I don't know who has time to really, you know, put together the perfect flea and tick masterpiece in their kitchen and then hope that it works. But try it if you want, or if you strongly believe in the natural versions of treating these issues, or just save the time, spend a little bit of money, go with one of those trusted brands, or go to your vet. But guys, now it's time for the biggest tip I have in this entire video, and that is if you want to prevent flea and ticks or just practice good hygiene with your dog in general, stick to good grooming practices. That's going to help eliminate a lot of issues from the get-go with your dog. You don't need to be inspecting your dog with a magnifying glass. I'm just saying, perform some weekly brushes. I'll have another video tagged right above that shows you how to brush your dog, how often. Do the baths in the intervals. You can reference back to that other video I tagged earlier in the video to watch how I give Luna a bath, the steps that you need to take, and just be paying attention every now and then to how they're behaving. If they're itchy all the time or it just seems out of the norm, chances are there's probably an issue, and that doesn't mean it's flea and ticks, but it definitely could be. You know, Luna likes to chase things under the porches. She goes in weird spots in the backyard. She digged when she was younger. They're active dogs. They'll go underneath big brush bushes or evergreen trees to chase rabbits or squirrels or you name it, they'll chase it. So the chances of these, you know, parasite type insects being on your dog, they're pretty high. It happens with a dog that explores like this and that gets out and about. So practice good grooming and hygiene with your dog. Keep them clean and pay attention to signs that could indicate that an issue is going on and you're going to be in much better shape. So with that being said, guys, I would love if you guys would comment. I am by no means an expert on flea and ticks. I am just trying to tell you what I would do with Luna here in the same situation. I would call a vet or pay for the trusted products personally. If you want to go the natural route, do your research and talk to your vet, but that's up to you. Drop some comments though. Let us know what you use, what's worked for you in the past, what your recommendations would be, so that everybody else can kind of learn how to deal with this issue, which is definitely probably more common than people believe with a Jack Russell Terrier. Again, guys, thumbs up goes a super long ways for us, helps us out dramatically. Give us one of those. Subscribe if you choose to, or if you like these kind of videos. We always have new videos every Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Time. We also have the new Luna vlog out and videos coming into that series. We've published 2 and there are more to come. Notification bell will help you stay notified when those videos are being released. And lastly, guys, never forget to check out terrierowner.com. That is the website or blog that also breaks down all these topics in depth to help you guys out. Outside of that, guys, awesome to see you all again. Luna appreciates it. I appreciate it. Help us get to 10,000 subscribers. We're getting close. It's been an awesome ride, and we will see you guys in the next video. Take care.